This is our video for lesson 6 in chapter 2. This lesson is all about tax, tip, and markup. 3 things that you should be pretty familiar with by now because every time you go shopping, these 3 things are put to use. So, first 3 vocab words. Sales tax. Sales tax is a percent of the sales price that is paid to the government. Tip and gratuity, these are 2 words that mean the same thing. You'll see them used interchangeably. Tip is a percent of the cost of a service paid to the server. The last word here is markup. Markup is a percent of the store cost that is added to get the selling price. So, markup, really quick, this is used by stores. You don't actually have to do any of this math yourself, but a store buys items at cheaper cost because they buy so many of them, and then they have to add to that price to get their selling price, and that's so they can pay their bills. What do you notice about these 3 definitions? They all start off with the percent of a number. So that should put the idea of multiplication in your head right away. Last 2 vocab words here, I have an image for you. Let's say you go to Walmart and you are buying this flat screen TV. Walmart would buy that TV at store cost. This is also called the wholesale price. This is the price a store pays to buy items to sell. Like I said, it's a lower price than what you would get to pay because they buy these items in bulk. The other vocab word is selling price. Selling price is the price that a customer pays. This is what you would pay for the item in a store. This is also called the retail price. So I'm going to use these 2 words a lot. Please make sure you understand the difference between the store cost and the selling price. Okay. All right, let's see a couple more notes here before we get a practice problem. To find sales tax, tip, and markup, the steps are all the same. We're going to change the percent to a decimal using D2P, and then we're going to multiply. So that's if we want to find just the tax, just the tip or gratuity, or just the markup. That first step is the multiplication step. If we want to find the total cost after we add sales tax, tip, or markup, then we're going to take that amount that we found in step 2 and we're going to add it to the original price. So these are really reading problems. We're going to have to read to see if they want us to stop here after we multiply or if they want us to stop here after we add them to get our final cost. We'll see how this works out. So our first practice problem is number 1 in your note packet. It says Alyssa gets an Uber to drive her from the middle school to the roller roost. The Uber costs $7 and Alyssa wants to give the driver a 20% tip. Remember, another word for tip is gratuity. How much will she tip the driver? That's our first question. And then we're asked, what will her total be? Okay, so first we're going to find the tip. I like to really be organized when I solve these problems. I think you should do that as well. First, we're going to find the tip. Tip is when we find 20% of $7. You can do this mentally if you remember how to do mental math, or we can show the work. So if we want to show the work, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to change our percent into a decimal, and we're going to multiply 7 times 2/10 here. 7 times 2/10. There's a 1 in our box. 7 times 2 is 14. Bring the decimal back into the problem. And if we make that money, it's going to be $1.40. We're going to add that 0 to the end. So the tip amount is $1.40. We have the first question answered right here. That will be our tip. Your work should look like my work. We want to be extremely organized here. Okay, the second part of our problem, question number 2, asks what will her total be? So we found the tip. Now if we want to find the total, this is pretty easy. All we have to do is add together the original cost of the Uber, the $7, plus the tip that she wants to pay the driver, the $1.40. That's probably mental math for most of us. A 7 plus $1.40 is $8.40. In case you are wondering, this is an actual picture of the roller roost. Maybe you remember that, okay? That's our total. So really organize with our work. If it's a two-step question, we're going to break it up into tip and total. We want to show our work. We want to stay organized. That's going to be the key here. Number 2, Walmart buys aluminum tumblers at a wholesale cost. Remember, wholesale cost means store cost of $8 a piece. If Walmart applies a 25% markup to the tumblers, what will the selling price be? Okay, so they pay $8, they apply a markup, and we are asked to find the selling price. So this is a problem where first we're going to find that markup amount, and then we are going to have to do the next step, which is adding it to find the selling price. So the markup, we're going to take 25% of $8. We're going to change the 25% to a decimal, so that becomes 25 hundredths times 8. If you do that math, you get $2. So $2 is the markup amount. Now remember what the store does with the markup. The store takes that markup and they add it to their cost to get the selling price. So that's exactly what we're going to do here in step 2. Please remember, you want to be really organized with these problems. These can get out of hand quick because they include several different steps. So we're going to take the $8 store cost or wholesale cost. We're going to add the $2 markup, and that gets us the $10 selling price. All these labels are really important to help you stay organized, help you stay focused. Right now we're kind of doing some easier problems. Once we start doing more complicated problems, those labels are going to be really handy. Number 3 asks us, what is the cost of the tumbler going to be after a 6% sales tax is added to the selling price? So remember, our selling price was $10. That's the price you would pay if you go to Walmart and you buy one of these tumblers. So now it's asking us, what's the cost going to be after we pay tax? So this is another one of those problems where we have to find our tax first. Tax is 6% of that selling price. Remember, we pay tax on the amount that we pay. So we're going to have to find 6% of 10. Change that 6% to a decimal, so it's going to be 0.06, 6 hundredths times 10. If you do that math, that will be 60 cents. And that is the amount of tax that you will pay. Don't forget, that's just the tax amount. They're asking us, what's the total going to be? What's our final price going to be? And that total is when we take our cost, that's the $10 that we have to pay, and we add to it the tax. So we're going to add 60 cents tax to that. $10 plus 60 cents is $10.60. That is the total with tax. Okay, so these problems, they're not hard, but I really want you to focus on keeping your work organized. You have plenty of work on your paper to do these, and the more organized that you are, the more you're going to really process what's going on. There is a difference between finding tax and total, or the tip and the total, but the process through these ideas are all pretty similar, multiplying and adding. Okay. It says here, complete your practice problems. This is number 4 pretty much, and then the write your own problem. I want you to try number 4. We're going to go over this in class tomorrow. We've talked about things like this already where we kind of play around with the percent first, and that's what's going on here in number 4. You're going to do number 5 as well. Don't forget to write your own problem. After that, you're going to update your flashcards. Don't forget our important vocab, our sales tax tip and gratuity, markup, selling price, and store cost. Get those flashcards done. You know how important vocabulary is. When you're finished, you can begin 2.7.